Hello, in this new video. Today we're gonna take a look at the Shadow Gligar in the Open Great League. Usually this would be a very lame showcase because our super meta Pokemon, not anymore. This Pokemon changed quite a bit, but is it bad though? It is not. Spoiler alert, this team was insane. We want to have battles here against top class battlers, like literally the people that you see top tier in something like the World Championships here. And so stay tuned for a lot of fun gameplay here with a team that's maybe a bit outdated, or is it? It is not. Honestly, this team was so much fun, and honestly Lantern plus also Gligar still has so much play in the current meta. Are they worse? Of course they are. Like, of course they're worse, but before they were top tier meta, literally were on nearly every team, and being no bit worse than this is not a bad shout. Next opponent here is going to be the regional winner of Barcelona, and also my brother Lostheart here. Going to be an interesting matchup. Horribly forced already. We're going to have Talonflame against our Gligar. Gligar running now Fury Cutter as its fast move. Going to be double resisted from Talonflame, so no reason to stay in. Especially if your 2 answer good against the Talonflame in the back here. We're going to have the Clodsire against us now, where you can go for the rollout plus drill run strat for us. And as we generate energy quite fast, I really hope that we can align ourselves here, and this is my main hope for this matchup. I need alignment. If I get alignment, I am happy because I have a Pokemon in the back that is going to be great for that kind of thing. And I was a little bit scared here that they maybe want to catch the move onto their Talonflame, and so I decided to go for the Rock side. Didn't really work out because the opponent doesn't want to swap, like my brother here in this case, didn't want to swap out, which is fine because now we're gonna see the final Pokemon being the Alolan Raticate. We have Fury Cutter as our fast move, being super effective against it. That's going to be kind of great. And also, the opponent's going to swap out here, and they realize very quick here that I guess Talonflame is not the best Pokemon to run against the Lantern. They forfeit, and so I win against the regional champion after losing the lead. Of course, next opponent is going to be someone running Malamar. Malamar is taking double super effective damage from Fury Cutter on Gligar, and that is going to be quite delicious. This Pokemon is quite common in the lead right now, and so I definitely do like this one a lot. And also, they got nerfed this season, so I decided to go for the Aerial Ace. The difference between those are not as big anymore, and so we can even go for another Aerial Ace to try to threaten a bit of the health of the opponent. Fury Cutter sadly is going to be resisted from Clefable, and so yeah, bug typing is very bad as a fast move usually, but very good for us against something like the Malamar, of course. But we can at least still go ahead and go for some drill run damage against the opponent here. And this is gonna put them into range where I can just roll out them down, which is gonna be lovely. They're gonna go for Moonblast, doing some nice damage, but I don't really mind this too much, especially as they reveal their next Pokemon being the Azumarill. What I can do now is, I can go into my Lantern. I don't even have to stay in here, but I decided to stay in here for whatever reason. I kind of regret this decision here because I could have swapped out way earlier. I would have been able to fully farm down there, but yeah, it is what it is. I just let it go through so I can align myself later on. I guess that was my play here. But this might actually be very costly because they're gonna put me into range now where they can maybe knock me out with another play rough, but also they still have the Malamar there in the back, and they still have 3 Pokemon total. They swap out into the Malamar, which I can at least still get to the Aerial Ace in time, which is very important. And this is actually going to be enough to knock them out, which I did not see at all coming there. That was very surprising to me. I thought I would easily be able to survive this one, but apparently not. They go into the Azumarill, and now they can go for the full farm down, and that is not ideal. Again, if we battle against people like my brother here, who's a regional winner who went top 16 in the World Championship tournament, you know, we are battling against top tier battlers as well, and all of the battles going to be against them, and so yeah, here sadly we're gonna lose. Next opponent. This is going to be a core breaker for this kind of team here. We're going to have the Sandslash here. Sandslash is going to be a Pokemon that I don't really like to battle against at all, and especially as it's swapping out to their Machamp now. Machamp is going to be a Pokemon that's also very tricky for us to deal with. This core is also one of the cores that I said are going to be very great for the upcoming season, and I did not lie to you with that. Cross shot coming through here from the opponent. I can go for a drill run. My goal is to swap out into Gligar and try to get some energy for the matchup against that Sandslash, and so I decided to go ahead and do exactly this. I know that my fast move is going to be resisted now, and they can still go for a Stone Edge, but it's way more important for me to get this dig off the opponent's Sandslash than anything else here. This is going to be able to connect and get the knockout against the opponent, allowing us to also now farm on the Machamp, and now it's on to the final Pokemon, which is going to be Feraligatr. This is great. We have Lantern, which also got nerfed, of course, with this Surf nerf. where Surf needs like 5 extra energy, which is really annoying because now Surf is a pretty bad move to go for. But it's still going to be fine. We do a bit more damage now as well with a Surf. But you just need to get them into a range where I can fully farm them down, which we did here. And so this is going to be a very good game. Good game to the opponent. Let's move on to the next one. The next opponent is also known as one of the best battlers in the world here. We're going to have an Oranguru team. I actually maybe can copy some teams as well, that would be kind of lovely. But Oranguru is not going to enjoy the fast move damage here, but also not the charge move damage. And I was hoping that I would go for another confusion before that. They didn't, and so it's a bit annoying. But I try to get them a bit lower, and then try to catch the next move onto my Dunsparce, which at least works out for me. You kind of have an ABB style line here. You have a lead that is ground type, and you have a Pokemon as Aesop, which is part ground type basically in terms of the coverage it has. And so basically the team is kind of working like an ABB style line. You kind of need to swap out eventually if you don't win the lead matchup. And apparently the higher you get in like the leaderboards and whatever, the more fighting type Pokemon are coming out, because I have not really seen any Machamp or Pangoro recently, and apparently there are quite a few more now if you go a bit higher up here. As you're gonna see already, I think the second or third fighter, and we're gonna definitely see a few more which I can remember. But sadly we're going to have a very bad matchup here. We're going to have the Lantern against Dugong, and Dugong is going to be a Pokemon that is going to go for a Drill Run here. That's going to be fine. We can try our best to go for a Surf. This is going to be hopefully enough to get a shield. It is not, but again, the opponent is one of the best players in the world here. I definitely... I'm not really at this level yet, I think. Not anymore, at least. But I'm still very decent, so maybe I'm gonna play into a regional soon as well again. Who knows, we will find out shortly. But as you're gonna see here, we're gonna try our best to catch a move, didn't work out, and so sadly we're gonna lose. Next opponent, running a bit of spice, we're going to have Ariados here, and we're going to see the Aesop of Dugong. We still have a lot of lag, by the way. If you see like some kind of frame drops in there, they're 20 times worse for me because the game is actually sped up for you, and so frame drops look way, less significant there. So it is what it is. We can still go for another Thunderbolt here to get the shield from the opponent, and we can try our best to go for our shield as well. That's what I thought, but I didn't do it, and that is very silly. Because, yeah, I thought that the opponent would go for bait, but they didn't. And so I overpredicted, and also thanks to the Rock-Side nerf, this is not going to be enough to knock them out anymore. And we are in a very tough spot here, especially as now Gligar basically has to win against everything. But luckily, our fast move is now super effective against Greninja, and that is going to be so lovely. You're going to be able to use a shield here on the Night Slash, very likely, like it was very obvious that they're gonna go for the bait here first, but I don't really care too much about it. But I can now go for the full farm down, because Field Cutter is super effective, and so they are in a very tough spot here, as we're gonna get a ton of energy. We can go ahead and go for an Aerial Ace here as well against the opponent's Ariados, and they only have neutral damage, I guess, with the Trailblaze, and so I want to force them to not go for the Trailblaze here by going into my Dunsparce, but Rock-Side is already gonna get them kinda into range where it is gonna be tough for them to still win this matchup. If they would have went for the lunge, if they would have went for the Trailblaze against our Gligar, knocked us out, a lunge would have been enough to knock us out here as well, and so we kind of were able to now get enough energy off the opponent, get the Aerial Ace off, and knock them out. Goodbye there. So, next opponent is none other than, I think, the first legend, I think like 2 or 3 seasons ago. So that is also kind of a player that at least I know and showcase on the channel as well. So yeah, those players that we're battling here right now are literally the elite right now. And so it is definitely a bit tougher here up there, but I enjoyed this team quite a bit, I have to say. And I can also tell you already, I did 3 sets with this team. The first one, I feel like I played pretty bad from my own perspective. I think there were a lot of games that I could have won if I played a bit better. And so you gotta see the last 2 sets that I played with this team, which went 8-2, I think, as far as I know, against, again, top tier opponents. And this kind of showcases, maybe don't throw away your Lantern, maybe don't throw away even your Gligar. Both of them still actually have play, and this is going to be kind of interesting here because, yeah, I don't know, like, I don't think a lot of people would have really expected this, but yeah, here we're going to have again a core breaker for the core of Talonflame plus the Feraligatr. They have a Satellite Crunch, which makes it all a bit more awkward, but we still have a decent shot here, hopefully. We can go for the Surf, which they are going to call, and I try to catch a Crunch, which does not work out, but I can use a shield here. And that shield might be quite important, because we have some lag there as well. You saw me just standing still there. I was very worried about this one. Nearly lost me the game. But at least we're going to be able to take a hit here from the opponent, which is going to be that flame charge. I can still go for the aerial ace just in case I can get to another charge move with my lantern. But also they're forced to go for another charge move here. But as they get quite a lot of energy here, which makes me a bit worried about something. But as they're gonna go for a fly, they can't boost their attack even further. They go straight for the next charge move. I need one more fast move afterwards to get to a charge move, and we can survive it and win the battle. Next opponent coming through, we're going to have the Alone Sandslash in the lead, which is a horrible matchup for us. We can swap out into our Dunsparce, can take a hit. There's no real reason for me to use a shield here. Everything is neutral, and Drill Run is the hardest hitting move they can go for, which is not really crazy, and they swap out into the Azumarill. And I was thinking my best bet here, most likely, is to try to go for another Drill Run, but also is to try to keep a Drill Run for later on, because we don't really have the best answers for the Sandslash. I knew you of course before that Alone Sandslash is going to be a bit of an issue, but I was like, yeah, maybe not as many people are running this Pokemon. Turns out quite a lot of people are running this Pokemon, but it is still going to be okay here. We're gonna see the playoff coming through. They're very likely gonna go into the Sandslash here, which is running the fast move of Podesno. And with this, we should be able to still survive one Drill Run, I think, from this range. I go for the Surf. I regret it instantly because the Thunderbolt would have been way smarter. But we're not gonna talk about this. I can use a shield here as well and keep my Lantern alive. And I can swap out afterwards into my Drill Run user here. So yeah, we're gonna be able to go for this Drill Run. We're gonna be able to get the knockout against the opponent. And now it's down to what they have in the back. And it's going to be a Feraligatr. And we are gonna be a little bit on a tough spot here for Gligar. And if you think about the team that the opponent had, they had Azumarill, Feraligatr, and the Alolan Sandslash. 3 Pokemon that hard beat Gligar. And yeah, I don't have to be too disappointed with myself here. I think that we're gonna lose this battle because, yeah, 3 Pokemon that completely destroy 1 Pokemon of my team. That's basically impossible to win here. And so yeah, sadly we're going to lose this battle. I'm still trying my best here. I can go for an aerial ace, as the opponent actually decides to go ahead and let the move go through, which I was like a bit confused about. But they're not in 1 spark range, 1 bubble should knock me out, and so sadly we're going to lose this battle. But I actually decided to go for still a Surf here, and I get this one off. If this is going to do exactly 1 damage and knock them out with it, we would win this game, which it didn't, but we still survive a bubble with 1 HP in a dream. Oh no, we don't have Ring Attack anymore. Oh no, people actually confuse the pacing of the Pokemon now as well. I feel like a lot of people get confused by the Gligar pacing, even though it is the exact same as before. The energy generation didn't change, it's just the typing and a little bit less damage output from the fast move that changed. And so, yeah, you're still gonna get to the aerial ace way faster than the opponent can go for any kind of charge move on its own. And so we're in a great spot. We're in a great spot, especially if they want to stay in here, because then we can knock them out. And of course, if you take a look in my backline, there's a Pokemon that really doesn't want to face off against any grass-type Pokemon. And so, goodbye to that Venusaur as they swap out into the Azumarill. I was hoping they would swap out of here. I was hoping so much they would swap out of this matchup. But they didn't, and they stayed in here for quite a long time, and they stayed in the entire time actually. Because apparently they're very weak to Dunsparce in the back, and I was a bit worried at this point that the final Pokemon is going to be Clodsire. Which also brings me to a point why I am not running the standard moveset on my Lantern. I'm running Spark over Water Gun. Water Gun is currently preferred for the Clodsire, because the matchup is way different with it. Of course, one is resisted, one is super effective damage, like even double resisted, one is normal super effective damage. The reason for this is, we have great answers already to Clodsire with our Saysop and our lead, so I was kinda thinking, I don't really need that. I don't really need that benefit there. But as you're gonna see here, Clodsire in the back, in this scenario we're in right now, maybe we do need it? I don't know, but we will see the Surf coming through here and doing some decent damage. We would have really enjoyed here, definitely, the Water Gun damage. But it's going to be the Earthquake coming through, which we can still survive. And now it's down to Gligar. And this was very fast. This was suspiciously fast. And it's just a Sludge Bomb. They're not running Stone Edge. And that is changing everything. Dig coming through, Dig getting them low, Dig going to destroy them all. We can see the Azumarill trying its best here, but we can try to go for the full farm down, which doesn't work out. But we can still get a Spark down, and so goodbye to the opponent there. Final battle for today. Amazing lead so far for us, so let's see what the opponent's gonna try to do. We're gonna be able to outspeed them here as well still, as Dig is 50 energy, the opponent needs 65 energy to go for 1 Earthquake. We generate 1 less energy per 2 turns, which is definitely still putting us a bit above them, but they decided to go for Stone Edge, of course. They actually need only 55 as well, so they actually do outspeed us, I think, usually. And I'm just talking smack here right now because I was thinking about, the Earthquake and not about Stone Edge, but we're still going to be able to knock them out there. We're going to have the Pangoro in the back, and this is looking fabulous for us. We bait out the Pokemon that we kind of want to not really bait out, to be fair. Doesn't really matter. Our bait line is kind of fine against fighting types usually, but they're forced to go ahead and go for a big close combo in order to knock us out. Even another charge move from them here would not be enough. So it is going to be a Night Slash again. It's not enough, and this allows us to reach out for one or more Drill Run to do a ton of damage against the opponent. And they don't know in what kind of troubles they're at. I definitely should have not done what I did here, but I still feel like I'm kinda in a safe place. What I have to do now is I have to go for the Spark down. I need 90 energy now to go for 2 serves, and so Spark, I think, just still generates energy at 7 speed, I think? Or is it 6? I think it's actually 6 speed. And so it takes quite a bit to get there, but it takes just enough to also knock them out with that. Hydrocan coming through there as well. We're going to be able to go for the full farm down, and we just have barely enough health to go for our back-to-back serve, which is going to be enough to knock them out. I could actually go for the Thunderbolt here as well, which doesn't really matter, but it's going to be it for this video. Yes, Gligar and also Lantern still works out super well. I would really recommend you to try it out. As you can see here as well, you got the 4 and 1 here, and you can also see all the battles that I just showed you as well, back to back to back, nothing fake or anything like this. This is an insane team, and hopefully you enjoyed this one. See you then, bye bye.